Alright, well, this is cylinder 1. Definitely looks like something happened there. Let's go for cylinder 3. And cylinder 3 is way up at the top. I mean, from what I can see, it looks okay, but hard to tell. Alright, cylinder 5. Also looks like it's had some coolant or something sitting on it. What the hell? I don't know why it looks all pixelated in the cylinder, but I don't know. I guess that piston's way up top too. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna pull the rear plugs. Alright, we got cylinder 1, cylinder 3, cylinder 5, and cylinder 7. And then we've got cylinder 2, cylinder 4, cylinder 6, and cylinder 8. I don't know. Alright, let's see if she fires. Definitely still shaking a little, but it does run. But it's also cooled all the way off and has no coolant in it. No more coolant come out the radiator. I don't know. I mean, it does still run, so I guess that's good. I need to figure out what's the misfire, though. Alright, she's back on the ground. code, see if it's still running on all 8. This is my receipt from AutoZone. See if we're leaking any coolant. That's my oil level sensor plug. I don't have one. Now see, before, yesterday and this morning, when I put it in reverse, it would die. Okay. It stayed running. Well, that's pretty good. It did not like the rev. So I just have to see how it goes. But huge shout out to Lucas, because he sent me $50 to get oil and antifreeze and, you know, just money to try to get the car back together. And I pulled all the plugs look fine. So hopefully we don't have any more major issues, but I won't really know until I go drive it. So I'm gonna pick up all my tools and I guess I'll give everyone another update. Alright, YouTube, so I've been working on the car all day. Like I said earlier, I pulled all the plugs, everything looked good. Put it all back together. Didn't notice anything in the cylinders. Everything looked pretty decent, other than some carbon buildup on the piston tops. So I threw it all back together. Found out the coolant leak was the radiator drain plug had stripped out. It was plastic. And it's in here somewhere. No, that's the other one I was trying to replace. Yeah, here it is. Ugh. So this is the drain plug, and it's like, I guess the pressure pushed it out and it fucked up these plastic threads. So I took this up to AutoZone, and they have this little thing on the wall with like nuts or like bolts sticking off and then holes with threads, and it tells you what all the sizes are, and you can either try to fit your bolt or nut to figure out what size it is. And this was a 18 by 20 or 12.5 by 20. I don't remember. It was some size, but it threaded in. So the guy looked it up and said they didn't really have anything particular by the sizes except for oil drain plug. So I got a oil drain plug for $8. And what do you know? It threads in. It tightened all the way down. Seems to be holding coolant. So I went ahead and wired the fans back to the toggle. So now I can just have fans, full effect all the time. And so I did start the car and back out of the driveway, but that's all I had done. So I'm about to drive up to the smoke shop, do a little test drive, and I'm just going to run the fans the whole time and see how it does. So I guess here we go. See, it's kind of stalling as I put it in gear. I do also need to get another quart of oil. Oh yeah, I did do an oil change today. So far, seems to be doing pretty good. I mean, I did just leave. And it is way cooler than it was earlier. This is saying it's still 96, but there's no way. I don't believe it's still 96 degrees at like 10 o'clock at night. I could see 85 or so, but not 96. I guess I'll give you guys another update once I make it up here. Alright, y'all, I'm leaving the smoke shop. Go. pretty good though. I mean, it's also not 110 degrees outside either, so. Starting to get over half a little bit. Temp's looking good. It says it's 98. I don't know. I think my temp gauge is like reading engine bay temps or something, because there's no way that's right. Well, she's a little over half, but it did run and drive up there. Oh, I don't see anything leaking. Oh, we may have a little bit. I don't know, it's not horrible. It's not anything like it was before. I'm gonna have to do something about that. That's my power for my fans. Don't need that getting caught up in the exhaust and melting. Alright, well, I mean, I guess at least it's not blown the fuck up completely. I mean, it's definitely not how it was the other day, but I mean, I guess it's better than no car at all, so at least I can still get around. It's just going to be only at night, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But, I mean, at least the car's not completely fucked like I was thinking. Alright, y'all. So, I'm out in Inola. It's been a long day, but we've got everything torn down to the timing cover. Because whenever I put the engine together, I went from the 06 engine to the 07 or 08 engine. Oh, wait, where's the cam gear? And I put on the wrong cam gear. So the gear that's on there now is exactly like this, only this is a solid bar all the way around. And that's a Gen 3. This is Gen 4, so it has these cutout notches and then this extra one. So I have the wrong cam gear. So we are changing the cam gear. 4-pole cam gear. But so this is what I need. And then I also got all new gaskets for everything. Another front seal. Timing cover gasket. Some more steam port gaskets. So it's been a long day. We've been working on the Camaro all day and this S10 all day. Both of those are running and driving. So that's awesome. And yeah, so now last 2 or 3 hours we've been tearing this thing down. And it's just about there, but it's been a long day. So I'm gonna go and take a shower and go the fuck to bed. And I'll be back out here tomorrow in the daylight and I'll give you guys another update. Hey there YouTube, so it's the next day. It's just after 11 a.m. We had to make a run back over to the house to get the crank pulley puller tools. So we just got back with some tools. So now I've got to get down here. I'm gonna have to undo my front subframe bolt and then the rear subframe bolt and lower down this side of the subframe a little so I can get on this. I believe this is a 24 mil. So I have to get on here and get this crank bolt out. Then I'll be able to hook up the pulley puller and actually get the pulley pulled off. So that is the goal. So I'm gonna, I guess, work on this and I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so I was able to lower the subframe a little. I got the crank pulley bolt out, but I still need to lower the subframe some more. And then Hunter had accidentally knocked a hole in his new radiator when he was drilling out holes. And this was a nice radiator, but it got completely fucked. And so he let me get the fans, as I guess I was trying to buy them from him, and he was like, well, since you helped get it running, you can just have them. And so I pulled the front bumper off, and I've got the trans cooler just hanging down here. But so this is the fans and shroud, and I think this is gonna work perfect. Like, I mean, look at this. Like, perfect amount of, oh, here we go, yeah. Like, perfect amount of gap between the AC condenser and the shroud. And then Lucas said he has some foam that we can put between there. And then also, it's a little wider gap on this side, but he said he has some thicker foam we could put in there. And then down here, there's a stud that's hitting right here in the middle on the inside. And that's where this bolts on. So this is gonna sit right through here like this. And that stud's gonna go on right down in there. This bar fits right between the fans. This is gonna work out great. So look at that, it's gonna sit right there between the fans, just like that. So now I've gotta drill a hole down here, and then I'm gonna probably have to do something right here, maybe bend this little, because the holes are like here and here. And this bracket is kind of bent down a little, so I might have to bend this bracket up a little so it sits in this 90. But that's gonna be awesome. And then I'm gonna use this wiring I've already wired up that's running to the toggle switch. So I'm gonna pull it out the bottom. But yeah, it's all wired up to my toggle switch and get this power off the starter lug. And so all I have to do is just cut off these factory plug wires I have on them that I left on for the other fans. Oh, they're down there somewhere. Yeah, I'll just cut those off and wire them onto these wires. And boom, heat shrink, and we'll be good to go. And then these fans will be hooked up on the toggle, and instead of being a puller fan, then they're just going to be pusher fans. And then I'm just going to leave the stock replacement fans out, and that's going to give me so much more airflow room in here for everything. I'll be able to pull this out some and bend this out so it's not so close to all the plug wires and melt-in plug wires. And I'll actually have some airflow in, like room for airflow in the engine bay. So I'm happy with it. And then I was also looking at, if you look at the AC compressor, it's got a horrible wobble to it, and it is like crooked. And I think the bearing's going out, and so that could be another reason why once I charged the AC, it started putting strain and making the engine want to die, because if that pulley's bad and it actually engages the compressor, it's going to cause more strain. So we went to the house when I got all the tools, and I got a spare AC compressor. So hopefully this one's good, because that's the only other LS4 one that I have. But I mean, other than that, everything's going really well so far, so I'm really happy with it. And but yeah, I just want to give you guys a little update. So I am going to have to drop the subframe down further so I can get this bolt out. And then also, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to need a little bit more room to get the pulley off of the engine, so we might have to really lower the subframe down. So we might have to get a jack on each side and undo all 4 subframe bolts and just lower the whole engine and trans and subframe on both sides. So I'm not for sure yet, I haven't got that far, but that might be what I have to do. So I've kind of took a break on that to work on this stuff, because this needs to get done just as bad as the cam gear. And then also, speaking of the cam gear, Lucas gave me a heat treated crank gear for the timing set. So not only will I have this Michigan Motorsports, the correct cam gear, I'll also have this nice heat treated crank piece, which he said it's a lot stronger and it's gonna last a lot longer than the $40 eBay timing chain kit that I got. He said this is part of like a $300 timing kit. So, and then I got all new gaskets for everything. It's getting a new front seal, new steam port gaskets. And then I found out the one that was right here that was leaking, it didn't even have a gasket on it. So that's why this side was leaking. This side had a gasket, but it was still leaking back there too. So either way, all that's going to get really cleaned up. It's going to get all new gaskets on everything. I'm replacing the timing cover gasket, even though it was brand new. It's not really that old, but I have all new stuff, so I figured might as well use it. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to drain the AC, swap the compressor, get the crank pulley off, get the timing cover off, and then once the crank pulley and the timing cover are off, doing the timing isn't going to be shit. I'm just going to have to put it in top dead center, so I'll probably have to put the crank bolt back in, but I'll have to put it in top dead center, and yeah, then just undo the timing, swap out both the gears, reusing the chain. Lucas said the chain should be fine, so I'll swap out the gears, reuse the chain, get the timing put back together and retorqued. And I brought the red Loctite in here, so I should have everything that I'm gonna need to get this all put back together. And hopefully after this we don't have any more issues with this thing, because I really thought this thing was toast. But yeah, I guess running the AC, it's advanced the timing, and because it's the wrong cam gear, now it's causing issues. Before with no AC it was fine, but with AC it's just causing issues. So, but yeah, that is how everything is going so far. So I'm gonna keep working on this, try to finish up the fans and get the front stuff put back together, and then I'll move on to lowering down the subframe and getting the crank pulley off. And then once the crank pulley's off, it's really not going to be shit on getting the timing cover. It's like 8 or 10 bolts, 10 mils, and then it's 3 10 mils on the timing. So I mean, really not that bad at all. So you guys, y'all stay tuned, and I'll give you guys another update here shortly. Alright, you guys, look at here. So I had to cut out part of the fan shroud to fit the factory hood latch, but it fits great, fits perfect right here. The wire for the, and it's like for your hood's open warning light on the dash. That's what this little wire is. It's wired in. It goes right in the factory rotation. It sits here right between the fans. And then I'm just going to have to wire these in. But there we go. I got my whole, this is called the header panel. This is what holds the headlight. So that's all back in. The fans are back in. So now I just got to get the trans cooler and put it back up in here. And these winglets just like zip tie on right here and over here. And yeah, actually it was this one. That's where I had it zip tied to before. So I just have to pull that back up here, get it zip tied back into place. It should sit right in front of those fans. And yeah, so actually I guess I need to wire these up before I put the trans cooler back in. Yeah, I'll probably pull the bash bar off, do the trans cooler, then put the bash bar back on. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've done a little more work. Bash bar's removed. This is fully tightened down. Added in some self-tappers at the bottom to fully mount it. So everything is in there nice. I just got done wiring up the fans. I just cut the factory plugs off. So now, I flip my toggle. And there's sucking in. There's quite a bit of airflow through here. So, and then I'm going to have the trans cooler. It's going to be up here, right in front. So it'll be sucking air through the trans cooler and through the AC condenser and the radiator. And I've also still got to drop the subframe and do the timing stuff. But got these puller fan or pusher fans instead of puller fans are wired. So big shout out to Hunter with the Camaro over here, because he hooked me up with these just for helping out get that thing running. So I appreciate it. These are awesome. It's gonna save me a bunch of space in here, so I don't have to run those. I can just take those back home and save those for another time. But it's pretty sweet. So we're in there, and I'm happy with that. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and work on dropping down the subframe on this side. I've got to get the jack under the subframe, take both these bolts all the way out, lower it down some more, get the bolt out, and then I've got to use the puller tool to get this crank pulley pulled out of here. So I guess don't go nowhere, and I'll give you guys another update here shortly once I get this subframe dropped down some. Alright, you guys, trans cooler is back up in there. Got the bash bar back on. It's almost time to put the front bumper back on. Everything's fitting really nice, so really happy with the progress. So I do still need to mess with the power steering lines, because it is definitely leaking up here somewhere. But that's gonna have to be later. I need to start getting this crank pulley removed. So yeah, I wanted to finish that a little bit up, but yeah, I need to move on to lowering down the subframe so I can get this crank bolt out, get the pulley off, get the timing cover removed so I can do the timing, chain, and, well, both gears basically. and then start getting it all put back together. So yeah, I'm gonna work on lowering down the subframe, and I'll give you guys another update. All right, YouTube, so crank pulley is off. I had to use a 3-jaw puller, but now I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 10 mil bolts plus the 2 in the oil pan. So I got 10 mil bolts, and then the timing cover will be off, and then I can get the timing chain. Well, then I gotta put it in top dead center. Then I can remove the timing chain with the gears and get the new stuff installed. So I'm gonna get all these 10 mil bolts removed, and I'll give you all another update. Alright, y'all, so there we go. Timing cover is off. There's that gear that's on there. You can see it's just solid. And then the new one has these cutouts. You see, there's the new one. It's not just a solid hoop. It's got the blank spaces. That one is just solid. So that's what's going on. So I need to line up my dot there. Oh, look, it's even in a completely different spot. But that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this thing swapped out, which I'm gonna have to turn it over to where the gear is facing straight down. And I'm just gonna leave the oil pump on there. Hopefully I can get this to go back on properly. So wish me luck. I'll give you another update. Alright guys, look at there. Here, let me go from the bottom. There's the new cam gear. We're right in time. Got some new cam bolts. Got them red Loctited. You see there's the red Loctite. So now I just gotta grab the torque wrench and get these torqued, and hopefully this never has to come apart again. And then yeah, after I get these torqued down, then I can wipe down this mating surface, get my new timing cover gasket. I'm gonna brake clean and spray out the timing cover, and it can go back together and go back on here. So very happy with the progress. I thought this was gonna be a pain in the ass. This is like one of the easiest parts of the whole thing. Once the timing cover was off, swapping out the gear wasn't nothing. I didn't even have to remove the oil pump or anything. So it's been getting down to this that's been the hard part. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this, get these cam bolts torqued down, and then start getting it put back together, and I'll give you guys another update here shortly. Alright y'all, so I've got the timing cover all cleaned up, got the new front seal installed, got it brake cleaned out on the inside, got a brand new gasket. It's about to get this gasket out, get everything ready to get back reinstalled onto the engine, and then I can start putting everything back together in reverse order. So I'm going to get this back onto the engine and get the crank pulley back reinstalled, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, timing cover is back on. So looking pretty good. Now I can get the crank pulley reinstalled, and we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna finish snugging up all the bolts, make sure they're all good and tight and snugged, and I'll give you another update. Alright y'all, so I just got the crank pulley and everything. Timing cover is all back on. Got some Loctite on the crank pulley. So I was trying to put the water pump housing back in, and I still had the subframe drop down, and it wasn't enough room. So I just got the subframe all bolted back up. Yeah, there it is. On both sides. So it's good. Now I can get this water pump housing reinstalled. The pain in the ass thing is making sure the gasket stays on so you can line it. It's easy when it's out of the car, but in the car it is a pain in the ass. And all these 3 bolts on each one, they want to keep moving. See, look, just me sitting it down, the gaskets already fell off. But that's going to be what's next. That's got to go on. So I guess y'all give me a few and I'll come give you guys another update once I have this thing finagled back on here. Alright, you guys, and there we go. The water pump housing is back on. Snugged down. Also got the steam ports on this side back on with the new gaskets. I still have the other 2 new gaskets for the other side. Yeah, so now I've got to get the power steering pump and reservoir set back on here where they go. And I got to rerun this part of the harness down underneath, and it goes down here to the cam sensor. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff set back in where they go, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, well, I'm getting caught up on this power steering line. It needs to go under the tensioner and under all of these bolts, and I can get it to come here, but it's sticking on top of this bottom bolt here, and I need it to go under. But that's what I need it to do so I can get the power steering pump to go in its place and for everything to sit properly. So that's what I'm fighting currently. But it's getting really close. It's almost there. So I guess just give me a few. I'm going to go at this for a few more minutes. If I can't get it, then I'm going to call it a day and just pick up all my stuff and come back tomorrow. Because I've been out here for like 2 days straight now working on this thing. No, I'm tired. I need to go home. So yeah, I'm going to try to get this line on here and get the power steering pump bolted on. And if I don't get it in like the next 10 minutes or so, I'll give y'all another update and I'll just call it. So I guess I'll give you guys another update here in a few. Alright, you guys, it's 9:20 p.m. So I did manage to get the power steering pump on and back in place. It's all bolted down. But I have to undo the 3 bolts because if you look, I missed the bolt hole behind it. And that is this bolt here. And that's just where it bolts this onto the side of the head. So it's not going to leak or anything. But I do want to get that put back in there where it goes. But I'm going to do that tomorrow. But so I got that on. Went ahead and got the alternator bracket on with the alternator. And then I got the front bumper back on. So it's looking good. You can see I still got to zip tie up hoses and stuff, but it's coming together. It's getting close. So I'm definitely going to come finish it tomorrow. Lucas and his wife already went to bed, so he's got to get up at like 3:30 in the morning to go to work. So thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it. Huge shout out to you. You've been a huge help. So if you're watching, thank you. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for tonight, you guys. So I'm going to finish getting everything picked up and go home for the night, and I'll catch you guys back out here tomorrow. Hey YouTube, alright, so it's the next day. I've already been out here for a couple hours. I've been fighting the power steering line because it wasn't bolted up to the block down here. I don't know, yeah, you can see this bolt right down here. That's where it bolts the line to the side of the block to hold it out of the way, because the belt was wanting to rub here. And then now I think it might be a little close underneath the belt. So hopefully it doesn't rub right down there, but there's no telling. So that's what I've been doing the last couple hours. But the power steering is how it's supposed to be. The belt is on. So now I've got to stick the battery in before I put the fuse box back in, or else I won't be able to get the battery in. So I've got to pull all this stuff up here out of the way. get the battery in, then I can get the fuse box in. And then once I have the battery and the fuse box in, then I can start, well, I can finish hooking everything up. I gotta get the air box in over there and kind of go from there. So I guess I'm gonna keep working on this and try to get everything finalized up here in the front. And then the last thing I'm gonna have to do will be filling up with coolant. I've still got to get all the hoses on underneath. So it's definitely not done yet. I still got a little ways to go, but and then I have the power steering leak over here in the middle somewhere from the lines on the front. As you can tell, it's pretty wet, and so it's leaking right there from these where the metal line goes to the AN line. So I've got to do something with those clamps there that go over to my cooler, but yeah, I got to fix that leak, and then I just got to get everything put back together. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll give you guys another update here shortly. Alright, so I'm under the car. This is what I got. I got to get the thermostat housing bolted on there, and then that connects this hose up to the thermostat, and then get the clamp on. So I'll probably clamp it first, then get it bolted on. It looks like I need to fix my plug wire. Cylinder 1 or 2 doesn't look like it's on all the way compared to that one. So I need to get that plug wire on some more. But other than that, it's pretty close. And then I gotta fix this power steering leak right here. You can see it's leaked everywhere. But other than that, that's pretty close to being everything. All these hoses are back on. It's just thermostat with this lower hose, power steering leak, and then air box. And then I gotta get some kind of filter to filter all the crap out of my coolant, because I gotta reuse my antifreeze. That's just about it. And then wheels and tires, and so it's getting close. Alright, you guys, so I've got a lot more done. I've got the lower radiator hose is reconnected, thermostat and thermostat housing is back on. So I've just got to tighten down this clamp on the hose, and then the whole lower will be done. All these clamps over here are tight. I went ahead and got this battery cables and stuff zip tied up, and got my overflow tank hose. I just got to tighten these down, these clamps down, and then once I get these last 3 clamps done, then I need to filter all the antifreeze, and then I can refill the system, and then that will be the cooling system. And then I've got 2 power steering lines right here that are leaking, which go from my factory metal lines, and I cut them and put AN line on, and they're leaking from here. So I've got to do something with these, and because they're running over here, and you can just tell they're like seeping all the way, and then there's just fluid everywhere up here, and it's all power steering. So I've got to get these power steering lines, this leak fixed. But other than that, everything up here in the front is pretty much done. I might add a couple zip ties from here just to hold it up to the rad support. But everything's up in place. Fans work. We added some foam insulation back in here because it was pushing all the air out of the top instead of through the fins. So Lucas has this piece of foam, so we cut some pieces out, and he got them shoved in there to block off, because this fan shroud isn't made for this radiator, it's made for that radiator on the shelf. But I was able to get it to work. So yeah, now I'm gonna probably have to put some foam down in the very bottom and the radiator support down there, just on the bottom side of the radiator to block it off at the bottom, because it is blowing a little bit of air out the bottom. But overall, it looks pretty good. So I just got to get these last 3 clamps tightened down, and then cooling system will be done. Then I can get the air box and everything reinstalled and get the ECU and TCU mounted back in where they're supposed to go. And it's pretty much going to be back together. And then it'll just be fixing the power steering lead. And then I also got some brand new brake pads for the front. So I want to swap out my new brake pads for these other ones, because they have been making some noise. They're not gone yet, but they've been squeaking and making some noise. And whenever I got these pads, whenever they got delivered, it was like some of the pad material was broke off in the corner. So they sent me this because the ones arrived damaged. So they just sent me a new set, and I just left the other ones on the car. And now since they're making noise, I figured, fuck it, I'll put the new ones on. So I do want to swap out my brake pads, and then it's just get the wheels back on and bleed the cooling system. Once I fix the power steering, I can fill up the power steering. But man, it's really close. And everything is a super tight fit in there. Like, there is no room. But it's cool, we got a little bit more room up here in the front now without the stock fans, so that's pretty good. Yeah, and then also, I remember I need to pop this spark plug boot on. There we go. All right. Awesome. Yeah, now I should have some room. Yeah, I've got to put a couple of these bolts back in on this for this tube. So, almost there, almost done. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll give you guys another update here shortly. Alright, y'all, so all back together. She's holding coolant. Haven't seen any drips. Everything's looking good.
By Thursday.
So, I guess I'm about to grab the keys and do a startup. Yeah, everything's looking good. Airbox is back in. Pretty sure everything is hooked back up. So, let's grab the keys. Alright. Let's see how she does. It needs a crank. It was throwing that code before.
Did you erase the codes?
I had the battery disconnected. That's like what it was doing when it overheated and I was trying to start it. Quarter tank. Huh. Alright. I'll give you another update. Alright, so I'm running the codes. We got crankshaft position system not learned and crankshaft position system not learned. Those are my only 2 codes now. So I've got to do a crank position relearn. But that got rid of a lot of codes that I did have. So at least now I know why it's not starting. But it's all good. Should be able to do a crank position relearn and we'll be good. Alright, y'all. Well, got everything all picked up. It's all loaded in the car. The battery's been on the charger while I've been picking everything up. Still full of coolant. Oh, went down a little bit. I can add a little more. But, yeah, everything's hooked back up. It's just saying I need to do the crank position relearn. So, I know I told myself I was going to pick everything up and get it loaded up, and then I'm going to try to get this thing to start. I'm going to crank on it for like 10 or 15 minutes and try to get this thing to start. And if it doesn't start, then I'm just going to call it and go home, and I'll just have to come back another day and fuck with it and try to do a crank relearn. So if not, then I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this thing to Bill so he can do the crank relearn. But it's at least all back together. Everything's hooked up. We're not leaking any coolant. It does still have a power steering leak, but not really anything I can do about that right now. But I guess I'll try to crank her over and see what we get. Alright. It almost sounds like it's firing at the wrong time or something. I hit the gas pedal. Yeah, it's already killing the battery. Alright, well, I guess it's just going to have to wait for another day, you guys. I know I might give it a few minutes and try it again. And I guess if it does start, I'll give y'all an update. And if it doesn't, then I'll just see you guys next time I come out. Whether it's tomorrow or a couple days, I'm not really for sure at this moment. But at least she's back together. It's been a long 3 days, 4 days, but it is what it is. She's back together. We got Hunter's car driving. It runs real good. We got Jesse's truck driving. He got his first drive in the LS Swapped S10 with the 80E. Running great. The Camaro's running great. So at least everyone else's cars are running good. Baby! Oh, it sounds good! And when this one starts, I suspect it's going to run good. Yeah, we went from 70% to 47% battery.
It was at 44 when I changed it over.
But here it is. She's all back together. I don't see anything leaking. My lines are, got my trans lines zip tied up some, so they're not hanging down so far like they were before. So close. I just need her to start. But it is what it is. I guess I'll like I said, I'll give you guys another update before I leave, I guess. All right, here we go. Try again. No, it ain't gonna do it. I don't know why the fucking dinger is still dinging.
Temp 6.
There we go.
Try it one more.
Here we go. Show the exhaust. What it's doing at the exhaust.
Lots of unburnt fuel.
Well, I don't know, y'all.
Keep trying.
What in the fuck is the deal with this? Hey there, YouTube. So it's the next day. I'm back out here, and yeah, I did some research last night, and I was looking for scan tools that can do a crank position relearn. And somebody said in a Facebook forum post that HP tuners can do crank relearn, and I have Steven's HP tuners and his laptop, and so this is what I've been trying to get done, and it just doesn't seem to want to update. And I had this at home last night on the internet at home, and I did the firmware update, like, because I messaged HP tuners like a week ago, and it took them 4 or 5 days to respond, but they did message me back, and they sent me a link for the new firmware update, so I did that. It did the update. So the new update should be installed, but whenever I try to hook it to the car and sync, it still says it needs a firmware update. And then HP Tuners also said to download the new beta version of Scanner and all that. So that's what this is now. This is the beta version, and this is all I get. It says reading from interface. It's connected. The only other thing that it was saying was it can take like 10 minutes or so to do. It's already been like 10 to 15 minutes it's been sitting here, and it hasn't moved at all. This is exactly what it was doing before I even started messing with anything on the car. It was like the day after it overheated, I tried to connect just so I could do a scan to see what all was going on, and it would not connect to the car. So yeah, this is what I've been doing. But if I can get this to actually work and connect to the car, then I might be able to do something. But I haven't seen anything in here that says crank relearn. I mean, this is just shows what everything is doing. But I think the car still has to be running for this to even show anything. So I don't know. I really have no idea. I might be able to go into, instead of this is a scanner, I might be able to go in to the other portion where you actually change stuff for the tune, and you actually like read the ECM and then change whatever you want and then write the ECM. And that's in let's see, okay, fuck it. Yeah, so we got VCM scanner, which is what I was just saying, and then VCM editor, which the editor, which these are the normal, the original versions. If you have the editor, you can actually go in and scan the ECM, and then it'll show you what the tune is basically, and then you can go in and adjust everything. So see, if I go in here, go to open, we're going to do the 07. There we go. So this is basically my tune. So I can go in here, go to engine, because it's going to be an engine. So maybe somewhere in here there's something about, oh, AC torque reduction, throttle reduction. I don't know, maybe in here somewhere there's something about, there's spark, via spark. Fuel cut enabled. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. Cranking. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about crank position. So airflow. Yeah, I don't know. Then engine diag is like reading codes. So this, yeah, crankshaft position, or crankshaft cam position correlation, bank 1 sensor A, which that was previous, P00, that was one of my codes I had before. So now I only have the 2 crank position relearn codes. Crankshaft position system variation not learned. See, that's the only thing I have now. 0315. I don't know, it'd be awesome if I could do the crank position relearn. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So, no, we're not gonna save any changes. Go right back into scanner. Then I go up here to help, I go resync, and this is what I get. And then I just gotta wait. And it's sat like this for like 10 to 15 minutes already. So I'm not really sure what the deal is. Like I said, I'm only gonna be here for like an hour. Lucas already went to bed, so yeah, I don't want to be super loud or anything, and I don't want to be out here super late. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna try to let this read and connect and do what it needs to do so it will sync, and I guess I'm just gonna have to wait for a little bit and just give it some time to do what it needs to do. So I don't know, I guess I'll give you guys another update. Hey there, YouTube. Okay, so I'm back out here. It's been a couple of days. I was able to get the laptop to connect to the Wi-Fi, and we were able to get the laptop and HP tuners to connect to the car, and we were able to connect it, start a scan, crank it. We have RPM. It's not starting. It's still just doing the crank, 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 no start. So I pulled one of the injectors for cylinder 1 to make sure it's in top dead center, which it is right now. And I pulled the cam position sensor out to try to see if I could see the dot, but it's like the timing cover is right up against. There's like no room to put the camera in and make a 90. So I can't see the dot behind the oil pump. So I don't know what the deal is. But I don't know, yeah, the car's not starting. I was able to reload the stock tune, and then it would do the same thing. And then I loaded the tune with the DOD delete and the cam tuning before I adjusted all the fueling, and then it was kind of doing the same thing. And so then I've pulled the plug, the front plug, and it's soaked with fuel and smells fuely. So I think I'm going to reload the original tune back on it and put the cam sensor back in and put the front plug back. Well, I might pull all 8 plugs and then spin it over to get any fuel in the cylinders out. And then I'm going to brake clean off all the spark plugs so it'll dry out the fuel that's on them. And then put it back together. And we'll try it again with the same tune I just had on the car. And hopefully it kind of resets the codes and the timing variation that it's learned. So I'm going to give me a few and I'll give you guys another update. Okay, so I've got the laptop on. And I'm opening my file. So this is what I have loaded on it right now. Just cam idle. So this was the latest. Plus 300 RPM. Open this one. Alright, then we're going to turn the key on, turn the lights off. And we're going to go over here to right entire, right entire. And click right. Cool, it's working. So this should be like 6 or 8 minutes or something like that. Oh, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Cool. So I'm going to let it do its thing, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, hey YouTube. So it is the next day after those last clips of it just cranking and cranking and cranking. So yesterday I pulled the cam sensor out and tried to put my little camera down in there, and I can't see anything. I pulled cylinder 1 plug. It was wet and smelled like fuel. So I brake cleaned and cleaned up the plug, put it back in, went over all my wires and just made sure they're all on tightly and they're all the way on. And then I kind of gave up and I went and took a nap, and then we had fireworks for the 4th. And so I come back today and I forgot the cam sensor was out and it started. And then once I realized the cam sensor wasn't even in it, I turned it off. So I've reinstalled the cam sensor. I've looked it up. Turns out I need the white one. This is the black one. So that's why it was running with the other gear, because it's Gen 3 sensor and gear. This is Gen 4. I had the wrong sensor. So I've ordered the correct sensor, but the car it will start and run now. So I'm going to get the laptop on, hook up HP tuners, get ready to do a data log on it, and I'll start it up, and I'm at least going to move it out of the way, but I want to do a data log. So I guess give me a few and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, y'all. So here we go. I'm going to turn the key on. Then I'm going to go up here and hit connect. Let it connect to vehicle. Now we're going to data log. Thank you, Robert. Let's see what she'll do. Oh wow, my alignment's way more off. Everything else seems to be working. I'm almost out of gas. No more ticky-ticky. There was no cam sensor in the hole. I'm gonna kill it because I'm almost out of fuel. And I'll go ahead and end this data log. Alright, now I'm gonna save as.
I mean, I like how you did what you did there.
Data log July 5th. Oh, first drive. Sweet. Alright. Now I can email that to the tuner and see what he thinks about it. Hey there, YouTube. So it is Sunday night, or Saturday night, now Sunday morning, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So I drove, well, first off, I got the GXP to start this morning completely on accident. I wasn't even trying to start it. I was just trying to explain to Jesse and Randy what the car was doing. And just so happens in doing all that, I had the cam sensor out of the engine and unplugged, and I just cranked it thinking it was just going to make the same noise it had been while I was cranking it, and it did the auto crank. So after like 8 or 9 cranks or whatever, it fucking started, and I was just like, oh crap, it started. And so I don't know, I guess Gen 4s, whenever the cam sensor goes bad, it's not relying on the cam sensor for timing. It just uses the crank sensor, and basically if the crank is in top dead center, it just expects the cam to be in time right there. So it's kind of going off a different timing table, and it's running rich. But the car ran and drove great all the way here. It didn't overheat. It was staying right around the half mark, a little under half. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I have ordered the new cam sensor. It was $15 and some change. So it's going to be like a week before it gets here. But the car runs and drives. The new cam sensor is ordered. And it turns out whenever I bought the timing cover, it came with the Gen 3 cam gear or cam sensor. And I had the Gen 3 cam gear on the engine, so it was working. And now that I've put the Gen 4 cam gear on, the Gen 3 sensor just wasn't reading properly. So I thought, and Lucas thought, that the engine was out of time. And come to find out it wasn't. It was just the sensor. And so by luck of me having the sensor out, and I didn't reinstall it last night, I left it out all night. And I just hadn't messed with working on the car yet. I was just talking to Jesse and Randy, telling them I was going to have to pull the engine back apart to try to redo the timing. And yeah, I hadn't even messed with it yet. I was just like, well, you want to hear what it's doing? And I cranked it and it started. And I was like, okay, cool. I don't need to pull the engine back apart. It started. And then I remembered I had broke off the toggle with my knee on accident. So Lucas gave me this toggle, so I was able to wire this on. So fans work. So the fans are working. But at the time, the toggle was still broke off. So I went up to the front of the car and started moving all my tools off the engine bay. And I was going to try to figure out a way to kick the fans on without the toggle switch. And I was like, yeah. And then I seen the fuse box lid was sitting there upside down on the strut tower, and I seen the cam sensor sitting in the fuse box cover, and I was like, hey, turn it off. There's not even a cam sensor in it. And I was like, we were all baffled. Like, I don't know how it's even running without the cam sensor. But come to find out, Gen 4s can do that. So for right now, I have the cam sensor is bolted into the timing cover. It's just not plugged in. And I've just ran the harness up out of the way and tucked it up by the alternator so it doesn't rub on the belt or anything. And yeah, so I was able to drive the car home. And I'm pretty much I'm going to try not to drive it as much as I can until the new cam sensor gets here. And then that'll be a quick, like, 10-minute install, swap out, plug it in. And then after that, I should be able to use HP tuners to do the crank relearn and go from there. And then once I get the crank relearn done and all the new gears and sensors and everything should be correct, and then I'll be able to have James Brewer tune the car, and that's going to be $350 for a full-on tune with me driving around, street tune. So I've also got to pay my phone bill and get hotspot because I have to be able to provide internet to the laptop while I'm driving around so that James Brewer can be connected to the laptop on HP tuners. So yeah, I've got to get quite a bit of stuff done. I need to make some money. But the car runs and drives. I drove it home. It did really well. I'm very happy with it, even though it was the cam sensor. So I had no idea that's what it was going to be. I had no idea the car was just going to start up this morning, but it did. I'm happy with it. I mean, I cannot complain at all. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video for now. I do have a job lined up. I'm going to, I guess, apparently be taking a flight to Florida to go assemble a supercharged 3800. I'm installing a cam, head studs, everything, torquing the heads down, getting the whole engine built. And my buddy Eric is going to pay for the plane ticket, and he's going to pay me a good chunk of change, $900. So that should give me the money I need to pay the insurance on the GXP, get the title stuff done at the tag office. The lady said between 160 to 180. So I'm just counting 200 for title fees and stuff. My insurance is $236 a month, so I got to have $236 for that. So I'm at almost $450 just for insurance and title stuff. And yeah, and then I still need the $350 for the tune. So yeah, it's going to be quite a bit, but that should at least give me some money so I can have the GXP 100% completely legal. It'll be tuned, so we shouldn't have any running rich or running lean or any major issues. The engine sounds healthy. It runs good. I mean, even without the cam sensor plugged in, it still ran really well. It ran better than it did than it was the other day whenever it was wanting to stall out and die when I put it in gear. Haven't had any of that issue, so really happy with it. I had HP tuners hooked up and running data logs the whole drive back. So I've got plenty of data logs. But yeah, I'm super stoked. I really wasn't expecting the car to start this morning. I was expecting that to tear it all back apart again. Really glad I didn't have to. But yeah, I'm just super stoked. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I guess if you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.